Greetings everyone, SlizzleBoy66 here, and in today's video I want to show you some of the best Week 3 Wild Rise of Shadows decks for laddering. You will notice that there are some decks missing from this video, for example Even Shaman, Murloc Shaman, and that's because the decks haven't really changed very much, and so you can find those decks in the best Week 2 decks in the description below. First up we have ConcernedMom's Togwaggle Druid. This is similar to his previous list, but he's introduced the Oaken Summons package with Ironwood Golem and Archmage Vargoth, just to give the deck a better edge against the aggression in the meta. In a similar style in Hydro's Jade Druid, we're seeing Hecklebot replaced with Ironwood Golem to battle the aggression, and also a very interesting tech in this list is Unseen Saboteur, which is a 6 mana 5/6 battle cry. Make your opponent play a spell from your hand, and this can result in some really interesting situations, especially when you're up against a lot of mages that are relying on ice blocks, parts of their combo. Just a very interesting tech to have in the list. Aggro Druid is back, and there are very many different variants of the list. People are still searching for the most optimal list. This list you see here is personally, I think, the best of what's out there. This is Mentalistic's list. Trips has success with it. I had success with it. And this deck is just amazing if you're running into a lot of odd paladins and Kingsbane rogues. Duin is still doing the hunter thing with his secret Deathrattle list, featuring techs such as Gluttonous Ooze to battle the Kingsbane rogues, Mind Control techs, which is really good against Darkest Hour Warlock. This is just a very solid deck to climb with. If you don't play much Hunter, or you don't play things outside of Mech Hunter, this is definitely a list that you're going to want to try out. It's very powerful. Quest Mage is also seeing a uprise in play as a more aggressive style deck. So we've got a lot of low cost spells. We can generate more random spells with Mana Cyclone. Basically you can finish the quest very, very quickly, and then finish off your opponent with ArHOAuXRA's and Arcane Giants. Odd Paladin is still very strong. Romulus is running a list very similar to what I was running before. It's Odd Paladin, it's good. Just be aware though that the meta is teched against you, so you might find it a bit difficult trying to climb with this deck. Inner Fire Priest is also seeing some success. Corbet's list is a dragon-based Inner Fire Priest, very similar to lists that we've seen in the past, but basically one good reason to play this deck is your opponent will mulligan against you for Big Priest, and then you can take them by surprise by being an Inner Fire Priest. Speaking of Big Priest is still alive and very strong. This specific list is very similar to ConcernedMom's Big Priest list. It's running some Excavated Evils. You might also want to consider teching in a Shadow Word Horror, as it is sometimes awkward to deal with odd paladins and their never surrenders, but overall this is a very solid list to climb the ladder with. Kingsbane Road is also still very powerful. This specific list is kind of a step back to the old Kingsbane list that we used to see. We see the double Doomerang back in there. Again, that's just for extra removal against aggro, but there are many different lists out there. You might want to tinker with your own list, but Kingsbane Rogue, if you want to punish the slow control decks, this is the deck to play. Get Me Out hit Legend with Q-Block, and this specific list is teched for aggro. You'll notice there's a Ziliax in there, which is not something you typically see in a Q-Block list. You've got double Doomsayers, but Q-Block is still very powerful. You can cheat out very big demons early in the game, and it's definitely a very fun deck to climb the ladder with. We have Darkest Hour Warlock, everyone's latest favorite deck. Where you can basically have horrendous boards on turn 3 or 4 if you're lucky enough with your drawers, and making it impossible for your opponent to actually do anything. Keep in mind, it is very difficult to get that high roll potential, getting all those minions out. Most of the time you won't, but when you do, it's basically a free win. We've seen our first success with Reno decks. Modius hit #1 legend with this specific build of a Reno Warlock. It's teched for the current meta, so you'll see cards like Bloodless Ooze for the Kingsbane rogues. You'll see Shadow Flames to help deal with the Darkest Hour Warlock boards or the Big Priests. This can also be comboed with Sylvanas to steal a minion. You've got Skulking Geist in there to deal with the Jade Druids, Ziliax to battle the aggression, Big Game Hunter for the even Shamans. Just a very solid list that's teched for the current meta. Do keep in mind though that with Reno decks, they do get outdated very quickly for meta shift, so you might need to swap out a couple cards to adapt to your local meta. Mecha'thun Lock is also not doing too bad. Again, this is more the surprise factor. You can kind of pretend that you're a Darkest Hour Warlock and your opponent might do strange plays, picking things out here and there. But this specific list has a really nice tech, Doomsayer Treachery. And this is a tech to deal with Big Priest and or Darkest Hour Warlock, where you can play your Doomsayer, play Treachery, give your opponent the Doomsayer, and their board is gone. I personally played this deck a little bit. I went 3-1. It feels really good to play. It's a lot of fun. It's also really fun using Hammer to blow up your deck. Evenlock is still doing very well. Trips has been innovating Evenlock by teching in Aranasi Broodmother just to get some extra heal, some extra taunt. If you want to punish the aggression on the meta, Even Warlock is the way to go. And finally, we have Concerned Mom's Odd Warrior. We're not seeing any new cards in this list, but a really nice tech that he's running is the double mind control tech. This punishes the greedy Big Priests, punishes the Darkest Hour Warlocks. It can even give you you're already favored against even Shaman anyway, but just stealing one of their big minions can be very beneficial. So if you want to punish the aggression, but maybe potentially fall asleep, this is the deck for you. So you'll find all of the deck codes in the description below. If you want to support the channel, please feel free to click that red subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.